Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to be making the sills for the ShelterLogic greenhouse ends so that they don't blow cold air in. If you followed along, you know how these ShelterLogic greenhouse ends are just really poorly designed and they leak like a sieve, and they're gonna blow themselves until they shred. So I got to make some kind of a sill, and it starts with these 2 by 12 by 10 foot boards. I got a kit full of tools here. Pocket screw stuff, various screws. See, none of my screws here are for, well, actually these are for treated. These are not for treated. But I will likely disassemble this in the spring. And that's it. Oh, I got a drill bit in here. So I am missing the screw shooter, which I believe is in the house, but I don't need that yet. So what I have to do is lay out the position of the 2 boards that will pinch the bottom. Well, it's actually 4 boards per, 2 per side. They will pinch that bottom part with a cat sleeping out here. These will go into the bottoms here, like that, into the pocket. I need to break the edges on here so they're not so sharp. I don't want anything ripping through this. But these will go in here, and then it'll be a 2 by 8 on either side, trapping it, and then I'll just throw a couple screws through it. Hopefully I can get it nice and straight, but that remains to be seen. So we got 1 board on each side that is going to be screwed up through the bottom with these screws here, 3 3/4 inch construction screws. Then I'll put this whole board down, put them pieces of wood in both sides, and get everything nice and flat. And then the inside boards are going to be pocket screwed down into this, which will already be in place. And I have the concrete blocks out there to hold it in place. So let's get started with the layout. Okay, so what I have here is the center line. The board is 10 feet 1/2 inch, so I went 5 feet 1/4 inch to get the center. I'm not going to trim it to an exact 10 feet because the spaces on my ends aren't exact to start with. So my board is going to butt up against this line right here. It's a little wider than 11 1/4 as well, so I split the difference. It's 3 3/4, well, I went at 8, 3 7/8 to this line. Because we were a quarter inch wider than the 11 1/4. It's about 11 1/2. So my opening in the middle is 42 inches. So I want 21 inches on each side of the line. So I'm going to start at 10 there and go to 31 over here. And start at 31 and then make mark down here at 10, and then just do a quick double check, put the tail of the tape measure on that, and yes, it comes to 42. I'm just going to put a line across there. No need for it, but I'm going to do it anyways. Just so I can see where my opening is. Oh, actually, there is a need for it. That's where my boards stop. So I have a big spot in the center. This is where the door is. If I need to bring anything in here with a hand cart or something, I'll have to go over this. But hopefully I can get some gravel out of the gravel pile, and I'll put gravel up to this. I don't want to cut it and have a piece on either side. I want the long, straight board to give me a straight front on the shelter. So I'll show you that when I get to it. But I have this. Well, I had it set up, but I changed it a little bit. Just going to set my combination square. Stare at, cast, nice one. And I'm going to draw my lines on, this will be the outside board. This will be the inside of the shelter. This will be where the outside board goes. I'm going to draw the line. Then I'm going to put some screw holes in it. Screw my boards on from the back, and then it's ready to put on the ground. Cat. Okay. Now, I only need about, maybe 3 screws coming up from the bottom. 3 or 4. I'd probably go with 4. So I just made some hash marks to kind of give me an idea of where the center is. Now I gotta get a drill in there and drill them. Drill a bit, I mean. Okay, I have a cat who's blocking the shot. Come on, kitty. Okay, you can. Oh, no, you can't see because you got a cat in the way. All right, I have holes right here. Just there. They go. Cat, I really got to get to work. Okay, so this is my 42 inches from here to here, and my boards are hanging over a bit. Okay, I had to double check on a measurement. I have 62 from the center to the end of this. See, these feet stick out a little bit, so that will ride up above the foot just a bit towards the end. But I believe I have a hair over 62 from the center out. Hopefully I don't have to take it off and trim these, or I can move them in, which I actually should, because let's measure this. I went 42, and let's see, it's about 40, so I gave myself an inch on each side on this door, and I really don't need to. I think I'm going to bring this in an inch. So we'll call it 40 inches for the door. So let me all I got to do is remark this, pull it in an inch. Do the same on this side. The holes are going to remain the same. Just adjust it a little bit, just in case. I don't want to have to take it off again and trim a hair so that it doesn't interfere with these webs here. So let me get that done, and then I will shoot these screws up from the bottom. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Shoot the screws up from the bottom, hold it still, throw them in, and then I'm going to clear this out here and throw it on the ground there. Now I have a 40-inch opening, which is all the way to here on the door, which should be just fine. Okay, let me get this screwed on. Okay, there it is. One done, except that I need to... Oh, we got something appears off here. Hold on. Okay, all better. I had this board that was on here was 1 inch too long, and it's likely because I was looking at my cutting dimensions last night. I have 41 on both sides and 42 in the middle. That's changed right now, but I must have went with 42. Anyways, that one is 1 inch too long. Hopefully none of the others are like that, but no big deal. I cut 1 inch off of it. I doubt that I'll get more than this one on today anyways. So now I got to take this big pig. This thing, it was really heavy just lifting this by itself. Now I have a 2x8 by 8 roughly on there as well, so it's going to be pretty damn heavy. So I got to jog it outside, drop it to the ground, and then push it under the door until this surface is flush with where the door needs to be. Roughly flush. I have 3/4 inch boards going into the bottom too, so I'll just jog it around until it looks like where it needs to be, then weight it down with a couple concrete blocks. I gotta break the edges on these a bit so that they don't cut into the plastic. Throw them in, and hopefully it's not too windy to get this done today. Then I got to take the inside boards, pocket screw them, push them up tight, and pocket screw those down. Then I got to throw a few screws, maybe 3 of them, through the wood, through this, through the board that's in the pocket, and into the other one back here. That should hold everything really nice and tight, and actually pinch that entire board tight inside there so it's not just held by 3 screws. The entire board is held tight, and the board will be pinching front and back on that pocket. It's as good of a solution as I can come up with, and then that'll keep the air from coming in on the majority of the ends there, and the rest of it I'll show you that when it comes to it. So let's get this thing outside and put in place. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. Once I have the boards on there, I can tap this around, I think. Hopefully it'll work. Pretty fine paper for the job, but that's what I grabbed. We have all these I think they're end cuts from belts or something. My wife got those, I believe, from a rummage sale or something. But I just want to take some of the sharpness off these corners so it doesn't want to rip my plastic, and then I'll slide them in. Okay, edges are all broken. Go slide them in place. Easier said than done. That's a good thing. I want this to be tight, and I know a 1x2 fits in here, so there we go. Just a little more. There we go. Oh, that's going to make a huge difference. Woohoo! Beautiful. I think I'll use like a paint stirrer, stick it down, the next board goes right over the top of this. Push that nice and tight, and then push a paint stirrer down in there. Push it real tight, and then throw the screw through the both of them. And this will be tight as hell. It'll be nice. Awesome. Okay, I measured these inside boards and they are correct. So far only one of them was cut wrong, and that shouldn't be too hard to fix. So I believe they've come out with all kinds of new Craig pocket screw jigs. My original one was, I think it was made out of solid aluminum. I got it when they used to advertise in, I think it was Woodshop News, way before they were ever sold in stores or anything. And I think he, the guy that came up with it, I think he sold it to a bigger company. They got all kinds of stuff now. I wasn't real happy with the switch to plastic when I got this, you know, going from a nice metal one to plastic. The metal one just got lost or stolen. I was working at a cabinet shop at the time, so it's possible it was stolen. But I've had this for ages and it's working just fine. So I use pocket screws on everything. So this has had zillions of them. I built that whole horse run-in, oh, and the house with just this. I pocket screwed damn near everything. So I keep everything in this little storage thing. So I have it all together when I need it. With I'm going to be shooting construction screws into here, so I hold it about a ½ inch off of the bottom, and then the pocket itself will be up another 1/4 to ½ inch. That way I can use 1 3/4 construction screws and I won't come out the other side or anything like that. So I think I'm going to go with four pockets in this, and that should do it. Oh, that's going to work out just perfect. Wind's probably going to knock it over. Yeah, it's going to be hard to put it together today with as windy as it is, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to screw it together or not today. Yeah, see, the wind just knocked it over. I will probably just get them just about ready and put the concrete blocks on the inside to hold them in place until tomorrow, when it's going to be less windy, and screw them together tomorrow. And there we have it. don't know if you can hear this or not, but the wind is really roaring out there. So what I did was just pinched this board that's holding the side panels, pinched it between the two boards, put all the blocks on there. These outside boards are not screwed down yet. They're just, it's screwed to the outside board and just pushed up there with these blocks. I'm hoping that keeps everything safe overnight until I can do something with these doors as well. Once there's no airflow, like under the door here, things should be just fine. You know, all the air is coming in under the door now, and with this sill plate in here, there's not much room for air to come in. So I'm gonna try to put a board or something on the outside just to block the wind a little bit for the night, because we got 15-mile-an-hour gusting to probably 20. Every once in a while, everything gets kind of crazy in here. So I'll throw some boards along the outside, try to keep the wind out of here overnight, and I'll see what I can get done on this tomorrow. I don't know if I have the correct pipe for in the bottom there. I got the caps for electrical pipe because I thought I had a bunch laying around, and I couldn't find any yesterday. So I'll have to look and see if I can find some. If I can find some, that's great, because I have sand to fill it, and pop those in, and that'll help get things all nice and straight so I can get the sideboards. I don't know what the hell to call them, but it looks like I'll trim this one. I don't know if that's the long one or not, but that one could use some trimming as well. So, and on this side, they're just fine. This side is splayed a little bit compared to that side. So I think I'll trim both of those boards. And I should have it done tomorrow, I'm hoping, with the exception of whatever I use to run across the inside here. As I'm closing up at night, I'll have to just throw it in place and unzip the door down. I'll come up with something. But this will stop the thing from self-destructing in the wind for now. And then I'll finish it up in a little bit. So, if you stop back, you can see this thing finished up. And at some point I'll be putting lights and building grow tables. I already have the designs done for those. So remember to subscribe to the channel. Click on the update icon so that you receive notice when we post new videos. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.